talk just before you went out there. Before going out there on Pinarello, was it churning over in your head the thoughts about retirement was right on the horizon?
Hey, if Pinarello didn't win, who knows, I might be still riding now, but it came to a point where I didn't want to let anyone down because I probably wasn't riding as good as I probably should have been. I remember I went to Cambridge Stud and I called in the office and Brendan and Henry there, and it probably sort of, this is not good. This is not good. And, you know, I sort of had a pretty good relationship with Brendan, and Henry had just taken over as CEO of Cambridge Stud, and, you know, he was probably looking at me riding, thinking that, should have done this, you should have done that. And I was looking at him going, not sure if that's right. So I could feel the noose coming around my head a little bit. Pinarello won the championship stakes and he smashed them. He won easy, he was untouched. And talking to Brendan after the races, and he said, well, I think we should take Pinarello to Brisbane for the Derby. And I said, I think you should too. Can I ride him? And he said, yeah, for sure, mate, you're on. So it was probably about a week later, and I had a couple of my, one good friend said, are you not riding him in Brisbane?
Whisper started.
And it definitely wasn't Brendan, but maybe the trainer and Henry may have tried to get a couple other jockeys, and it got back to me, and it was sort of a bit, if I was them, I would have done the same thing, but it got back to me. When Brendan Lindsay tells you that you're on, well, you're on. So they shouldn't have gone behind his back or my back to try and get someone else.
Yeah.
Hey, it was James McDonald
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Kieran McAvoy, but it's got back to me, and I was sort of a bit, you know, things are getting a bit tight here for me. But look, I'm going to go and ride this horse, and I want to do the best I can.
So you got the end and you draw the car park, and what sort of feeling was that?
I think in the 5 weeks leading up to it, I had 5 rides.
Yeah.
Which is not very, I'm not on form.
No.
I'm far from it, you know. I've ridden over 1,200, 4 times maybe a 1,400 metre, and I hadn't ridden for 10 days before the Derby. And the draws come out on Wednesday, and he's drawn 17 out of 18. So it was going to be tough. And I galloped him on the Tuesday and gave him a hard gallop. I thought he's either going to come out of this really good. Like Roger wanted to work that way. Yeah. But he went a long way for a 3-year-old having a lead up. But he hadn't raced for 5 weeks. So he was fit and he pulled up enormous. So he was ready to go, but he still hadn't raced for 5 weeks. And then he's drawn one from the outside, like you said. So it was going to be tough.
So you must have gone out there with a plan, but was it just intuitive once the gates opened? What unfolded from there?
Roger rang on the Thursday, I think it was, and I'd just been to the gym, and I said I was going to ride him back. I said, but looking at it now, I've done my form, and I think we should try and go forward and get in. And I'd sort of, in the back of my mind, I'd keep telling myself, if he wins on Saturday, I'm going to retire. So, not that I was going to knock someone over, but I wanted to get in.
Yeah.
Still holding, hits the button now, racing in the Derby.
James might have helped you out of fraction.
I think James has ridden it against me a few times where he probably saw me coming in on that angle and maybe decided it was probably better to just come back half a length than lose 2 lengths or 3 lengths. Yeah. I had to make a mid-race move at the 1,000. I was following a horse of John Sargent's, and I actually saw it gallop on the Tuesday, and it was legless. So I had to come out early, but the horse towed me into the race, and he was bolting, turning in. Like I'm sitting there, sitting duck, and it's a long way up there straight.
Pinarello, Paternal, Southern Stock and Kaboshes running home late. The inside here, Pinarello, Paternal, they hit the line of the Derby, and Pinarello's won the Derby.
You hit the post and you think, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm done. I sort of reflected when I got to the back, and not one for crying, but, you know, I was nearly going to cry. Yeah. Once I sort of calmed myself and went and saw Brendan and Joe and Henry, and Roger, he was, you know, we all got together and I said, oh, look, I'm going to retire. And they were like, what do you just won the Derby, you know?
Yeah.
I remember I went back into the jockey's room and said, there was a couple of jockeys next to me. I said, I'd pick up the scraps. I want my saddle, I want my whip, and everything else I can give away.
Give away.
There's a couple of jockeys like, what's going on? And I said, no, I'm retired. Yeah.
There's a set of breeches on the wall over there which probably have a bit of significance from the day as well.
Yeah, they do. Came back to the room and Kiwi's there and Macca's there, and I managed to find a pen, and it's a bit corny asking someone, your mates, can you sign my silks? You know, I just sort of said, oh, Macca, can you sign these silks? And what do you want me to sign these for, you know? And Hugh's there next to him. I said, oh, I'm retired. And they were pumped. They were giving me high fives and we were jumping around, like, you know, give each other a bit of a hug. And Hugh signed them and he just put down second and Macca third again. So it was quite good. And yeah, I've got them hanging up in the shed.
So you've hung them up. Has there been any second thoughts anywhere amongst it all?
Obviously, when Entain have come in and put so much more money into
you've got house renovations, Jess has got to pay for them.
I've got a lot of bills and school fees, but I decided, I've seen a few jockeys come back after they retire, and you know, look, I don't want to do it. I've repaid Joe and Brendan, gone out how I want to go out. A little bit selfish because I love horses. I haven't been on a horse since. Because if I go to the track and go and start riding a couple of horses, and next thing you get the itch back and you ride one and a gallop, and so I just stayed away, and I'm happy with what I've done.